Hi guys, today we are going to be telling you all about how we became this big crazy family.
Home is in your heart, home is in our hearts, home is wherever you are with you I'm home, praising it all, with you I'm home, praising it all, with you I'm home.
Hi, Keep It Crazy family. Today we are going to be talking about our family story. We have a lot of new subscribers, so welcome to our family. We're so excited that you're here with us. So our story,
We have to go back to the beginning.
We have to go back. So Jared and I met 14 years ago.
Online, no less.
On the internet, yes.
And I was like, I'm not doing this whole chat online thing.
No.
We got to go on a date.
Yeah, so we immediately went on a date, and then 5 months later, we were married.
5 months is all it
Which
took.
is so crazy. Yes, we got married so quickly, but we knew it was right. And on our very first date, we actually talked about adoption.
True.
It's something that's very important to me. I have always wanted to adopt. And so he was in and we got married, and so I had a daughter, Kylie. She is from my previous marriage, and she was probably
12 or 13.
Yeah, when we got married. Then a year later, we had Landon. And then we decided that there was such a huge gap between Kylie and Landon. So
And it's time to adopt.
We wanted to adopt in the middle, which is why we named our channel Crazy Middles.
Yep.
So anyway, so we started the foster care classes, and then when we started taking in placements, we didn't even realize how many siblings are separated.
And it was heartbreaking to see how that happens all the time, where siblings are separated just to find them places to be in foster homes.
So we made it our personal mission to adopt siblings and put them back together.
Yes.
So
that brings us to our first adoption, which was Cody, Lacey, and Elizabeth. And when we first got that call, we weren't going to take them.
No, we actually said no when they first called.
Well, they first called for just
They
Cody.
called for just Cody. And we knew our mission was going to be siblings, so I said, you know what, we're only taking siblings at this time, and we hung up. And then she called back, and she was like, wait a minute, I just found out he has 2 sisters. Would you be able to take them?
We're like, perfect.
Yes.
Done.
Yes. So they were our first group that we adopted.
After we adopted Cody, Lacey, and Elizabeth, we had more places on our license for foster care that opened up. And like we said before, it was our personal mission to put siblings back together. So Shelly was really active in this, and she searched them out.
I did. So they were actually our next group was in different group homes. And so they were older, and so the caseworker felt like there was no way they were going to be adopted.
Ever.
And I was like, that's perfect. Let's put them all back together, and we'll adopt the sibling group. So the next one we have is Destiny, Jonathan, and Cynthia.
Our caseworker at this point kept asking Shelly, like, we have this little boy. He's perfect for your family. You have to take him.
But we're only doing sibling groups, so we kept saying no. And no and no. And then we decided we would do a weekend visit, and this is with Jacob. And
after the weekend visit, we're like,
we knew.
Yeah, we know.
We
fits.
know
It's
he
good.
is a fit.
Tonight, we have a new kid, and his name is Hayden. Hayden, what do you think of being in our family?
Amazing.
What is amazing about it?
Big house.
The big house? Is that all you have to say? Are we nice or something? Okay. We will be adopting him in 6 months. He is obviously very excited about that.
Yes, for
we
sure.
have to keep him, please.
Yes. And then we found out about Mason. So Mason was supposed to only be an emergency weekend visit. So we picked him up off an airplane on like Friday night. By Monday morning, he was supposed to be placed with someone else, but we fell in love. And so Monday morning we said, we're keeping him.
You don't have to find another place for him.
Yeah, he belongs right with us. So then And this was all like pretty quick.
It was really
fast, really
yeah.
quick. And so then we found out about Weston and Spencer. They were in a group home, and we knew that Weston was going to be aging out soon. He was going to almost be turn 18, which would have left Spencer in the group home by himself. So we took both brothers in, and then
right around Christmas.
Christmas.
I'm Michael, and this is James. We've been through a few. He's been into one other foster home, and I've been through several foster homes, about 5 or 6, and we've been in the foster home or group home situation for almost just about 2 years.
And you've been in group homes?
Yeah, we've been in group homes and foster homes many times, and we couldn't find like the right place for us. And then finally, we come here, and it feels like we just fit in after the first 2 days, and it's amazing, and I'm super excited that I'll be getting adopted.
But then what was so cool is we got the adoption date for all 4 kids on the same day.
Yeah, that was awesome.
Yeah, so we adopted all of them together. The next call that we got
was insane.
It was about a little girl, and the shelter actually called us and said, "Hey, I heard that you adopt kids. We have a little girl here that has been in the system for a year."
That is
no.
Never
Let me refresh that. She was in a shelter for a year, and they didn't even know who her caseworker was. Normally, when kids go to shelters, they're there no longer than a few days, maybe a week at most. She was there a year. And so we went over.
They didn't know who her caseworker was, nothing.
Nothing. So we went over and picked her up and figured it out, who her caseworker was. We got the okay for her to stay with us. And in the paperwork, I noticed that she had a brother. And so we were on the hunt for weeks to figure out where he was in the system. We finally found him, and we were able to put him back together, and we are talking about Anaveah and Braxton.
I can't wait.
You can't wait? Oh, we can't wait to adopt you.
I love you.
Oh, baby, I love you too. I'm going to go ahead and tell a story really quick about Anaveah and Braxton that I haven't shared on our channel before. It's just something that's really special to us. So when we went to pick up Anaveah at the shelter, we got over to Phoenix. It was kind of a far drive from where we lived.
Yeah,
and when we got over there, we went into the shelter, and the lady said, "Oh, you must have talked to the lady that was, on the shift like right before her. Let me make a phone call." So Jared and I just kind of stood and waited, and she came back and she said, "Oh yes, you are cleared to go ahead and take her. She's in the back bathroom." And so we went back to the bathroom, and she was sitting on the floor, and I walked in and I saw her, and she looked up at me and just put her hands out. Just here I am. And so
Heart melt.
I picked her up in my arms and just headed to the door, and which is always
let you go.
She would not let me go. It was days and days and days before I was even really able to put her down. But I walked to the door, and the lady was like, "Wait, do you need clothes? Do you need anything?" And I was like, I don't need anything.
We don't need anything.
And so we took her home with us. So that's how her story went. Our next phone call that we got was about 3 kids that needed a place. They were going to be separating them, and we didn't want that. However, Jared and I had no room left on our foster license at this point. We were totally full, and we were thinking, well, we're getting a lot of kids here. Like, let's not adopt at this point. We're just going to kind of finish fostering the kids that we have. Well, then she said, "Well, if you don't take them, we're just going to split them up, and we'll just put them in a shelter."
Totally guilt tripped.
Totally guilt tripped me. And I'm so glad it went that way, because now they're such a big part of our family. We are talking about Harlan, Aubrey, and Addison. So Harlan did join us a little bit later. We did have to fight for him. He was in a military home, and or military, not a home, like a school. So we fought to get him, but their adoption was amazing.
My heart has been redeemed. adopted. Now I know my Father. This grace that I've received, I wanna show you. I wanna show you. This love is a deep kind. You're my baby, you're my sunshine. I'll hold your hand, be your biggest fan. I love you all of the time. All of the time. All of the time.
I'll hold your hand, be your biggest fan. I love you.
All of the time.
Next, we adopted Kason, and he's such a big part of our family, and he's so cute.
A joy to have.
So one of the foster kids that we had was Trey, and we got him like a couple days after he was born, and we had him for almost a year, and then he went back to his biological mother. So about a year after that, we actually got Trey back at the insistence of his biological mother, who we had a little bit of a relationship with and whatnot from previous. And she insisted that we take both Trey and his older sister Brinley.
So they were our next adoption.
Jacob was already adopted years prior, but for years while we had him, we were actually trying to get his older sister into our home, Nicole, and it just didn't happen. It was so hard to get everything to work out just right.
Yeah.
But she did age out of the system, and we were able to pick her up once she aged out with her daughter. So we have adopted her in our hearts.
Yes, she's definitely a part of our family. So if you've lost count by now, we have 21 kids. And everyone wants to know, are you finished? The answer
We're not sure.
is probably not.
Probably not.
So we do have 5 of our kids, our older kids that are going to be moving out in the next year or two. And Jared and I know 5. Jared and I have decided that we will probably adopt again.
Yeah.
So
we want to continue our mission of just reuniting siblings and trying to keep them together, because it's so important to keep those siblings together.
It is, and it's been such a blessing in our lives. So
Yeah, it really has been, and we absolutely love it.
yes, this is our family story for now.
Keep watching and enjoy the journey with us.